Hello Discovery Gardens friends and family. I'm so excited to be back with you guys this week. We are starting a new week. We are no longer doing rainbow fish. This week we're gonna start off with our new shape. So I'm gonna switch it up. Normally I do the book starting off, but we're gonna start our book for tomorrow's video. But today I wanna do the shape of the week, and that is gonna be the triangle. I really like the triangle. The triangle has 3 sides, and we are gonna go ahead and figure out what exactly that looks like by the end of this video. So we are going to make triangle shaped sandwiches and quesadillas today. And this is a very filling snack. I would almost recommend that you go ahead and do this as your lunch instead of doing it as a snack. That way the kids can get a little bit more food, they can get more filling. You know, there is bread in it. They're probably not gonna be very hungry after it, especially if you throw a side in there like some vegetables or some fruit for them to go ahead and eat with their quesadillas or their triangle shaped sandwiches. So let's get started. As usual, I would just like to add a friendly reminder to make sure we wash our hands, both the adults and the children, before getting ready to prepare our snack to keep everything clean and healthy. Okay, so the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is take your bread that you have right here, like I do on my tray, and then story. My dad is allergic to peanuts, so I always use the jelly before the peanut butter when I make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. But you can go ahead and use jelly or peanut butter, whichever you prefer first when we're making these sandwiches. And you just want to go ahead and take your jar of jam, and we're going to take a butter knife. So normally butter knives are kid friendly to use. Just make sure they know, grab your knife by the handle. Do not ever touch the top of the knife. We're only going to use the handle when we do this. And we're just going to go ahead and scoop some jelly. And this is brand new, so the jelly is really stiff. And we're going to just put it on top of this bread. And then we're going to smooth it out really evenly all over the middle. And you can put as much or as little as you want on there. Make sure it just tastes good to you. There's a little bit of that spilt right there, so I'll go ahead and just grab that. And we're gonna set that to the side. So our first piece of bread is gonna look like this with just a little thin layer of jam on there. And then we're gonna take our second clean butter knife. Or if you do want to, you can use the same butter knife, but just wash it in between. When you scoop the jelly and when you scoop the peanut butter, that way we don't get any sort of cross-contamination for people with allergies in there. And then we're just gonna take some peanut butter and we're gonna spread it on the bread. If you're a texture person, you can talk about, do you prefer crunchy peanut butter or do you prefer creamy peanut butter, and why is that? Or maybe you don't like peanut butter at all. Maybe you prefer to eat almond butter or sunflower seed butter. It's really just up to you. It doesn't matter. Here's your peanut butter right here. And then what we're gonna do is take this bread and we are going to slap it right on top. So now we have our sandwich right here. And what we're gonna do is this part is gonna use a sharp knife. I'm not using a butter knife. You can use a butter knife if you want to, but it might be a little bit harder to rip through the bread. So what I'm gonna do is just take my knife and I'm going to cut it diagonally first, right down the middle, just like that. And I will show you, it looks like this. So it's a triangle right now, but we could also, if you want to, you don't have to, cut it again in half. And now we have 2 smaller triangles. So you have these 2 triangles and you have a big triangle right here. Well, this one is kind of round, so I'm definitely gonna cut this one in half too. Depending on the shape of your bread, my bread is a little bit more like a rectangle. If your bread is more of a square, it's gonna be easier to make the triangles. But now we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 little triangle finger sandwiches, and you can make as many of these as you want. Another cool thing you can really do is you don't have to do peanut butter and jelly. You could do a deli meat and a cheese sandwich with whatever kind of toppings you like with your meat and cheese sandwiches. Or you could also do like a tuna fish, a grilled cheese. Like, the combinations are limitless. So whatever your favorite sandwich is, just go ahead and make that. And then we're gonna cut them into triangles and go ahead and make our quesadillas to finish our finger food sandwich triangle shaped snack / lunch for today. Okay, so now that we have already finished our sandwiches, what we're gonna do is take a big tortilla, just like this one, and we're gonna put it on our tray, and then whichever cheese you want. So in my fridge, I only had mozzarella cheese, so I'm gonna use mozzarella cheese, but you can use cheddar cheese, you can use American cheese, you can use jalapeno jack cheese if you want. Whatever your favorite cheese is, you're gonna go ahead and put inside of your tortilla. And it does not matter if it's sliced cheese or if it's shredded cheese. You can use either or for this, so that's not a big deal. What we're gonna do is just take our cheese and we're gonna put it only on half of the side. So you can pick either your left side or your right side, which you have to pay attention and look if you're gonna use the side that's on your left hand or your right hand, and try and put the cheese only on that side. So if you see, my cheese is only on this side of the tortilla and this side of the tortilla is empty. And the reason for that is because once all my cheese is on here, I'm going to flip it over just like this. And like how we did the sandwich and put one side of the bread on top of the other, we are gonna put one side of the tortilla on top of the other right here. And then you have almost a taco shape. And we are gonna go ahead and let me move my cheese out the way. We are going to put our tortilla inside of a skillet. So you can see there's steam coming out of the skillet. I've had it plugged in here, set to the side, so it's pretty hot. And that's good because personally, I feel like quesadillas taste a little bit better when they're made on a grill and not when they're made in the microwave. But if you want to do it in the microwave instead, and that'll be easier, then you can go ahead. I just personally prefer the flavor this way. So this is how I'm going to show you guys how to do it. But you're going to put your quesadilla just right here in the middle of your pan, and you are going to let it sit. All right, so how long you let your quesadilla sit for depends on how hot your pan is and how much cheese you put in there. You want to make sure that when you do this, all the cheese on the middle is able to get melted. So you don't want to do it too hot because you want to give it enough time. And when you flip it, all that we're going to do is take a little spatula and flip it over like so. And you can continue to do this until your cheese is completely melted on the inside. Okay, so once our quesadilla is completely off the grill, what we are gonna do is put it on a tray. It's gonna look just like this. The other side that I have is not as brown, it's a little bit whiter, but I personally like it when it's a little bit crispy. And then we're gonna take a knife. It does not have to be this big of a knife. This is just the same knife I use for my sandwich, so I'm gonna use it for my quesadilla as well. That way I don't have as many dishes to do. But if you wanna use a smaller knife, you can go ahead and use a smaller knife as well. And what we are gonna do is take it and cut it symmetrically down the middle. The word symmetrically means that both sides are gonna be exactly the same. So if you look at how I cut it right here, it is completely symmetrical. Both sides I cut evenly and they are the same. And then just like I did with our sandwiches, I'm going to cut the quesadilla so that it is into 4 even triangles as well. And then now you have all of these quesadilla triangles, and you can see that like the shape of a triangle, there's gonna be 1, 2, and 3 sides. And triangles are pretty unique because all of the sides do not have to be the same length. Actually, you can make triangles where all of these sides are the exact same, or all these sides are completely different lengths. That is a really cool fact about triangles, and you can make them however you want. So I really hope you guys enjoy these snacks. I hope you like quesadillas and you like sandwiches, feel free to throw some chicken, some tomatoes, whatever you want inside your quesadillas. If you think just cheese is a little bit boring, but if you like cheese quesadillas, then feel free to put as much cheese as you want in there. I will see you guys tomorrow, and I look forward to our next video. Here are just some quick pictures of the final products of both the sandwiches and the quesadillas.